When I was really young, I would say 7 years old, I had a pivotal moment in my life where I always liked to draw as a little kid. I would draw cars and whatever I wanted to. Boats, I like to draw boats. But I was at my grandmother's house. She had a house in New Jersey. She just recently died. She was 102 years old. And her house in New Jersey was like the meeting place that everybody would meet at. And so I remember this one time, I know I'll never forget it because it was such a pivotal point in my life, and I think back to it often because of how my life turned out as far as what I like to do for fun, what I ended up doing for a living. It all kind of stemmed from this one point. This is a front wheel that I'm going to put onto my Minardi here. So I'm using tweezers. Grandma, or after drawing, I think it was a battleship. My dad used to be in the Navy, and I had him draw me out like a rough shape of the boat that he was on. He was on a destroyer in the 60s. And so I had him like draw me a basic shape of a destroyer. And then I started filling in the details of the boat, just putting the guns on it and the railings and all kinds of little things, that boats had. And hold on here. Okay. So, and I put it on backwards. Hope I can save it. I put it with the rim facing the inside instead of the outside. Make sure it's straight. Almost straight. So after drawing the boat, of course, I had to go around and show my aunts and uncle and grandma and grandparents and mom and dad, show them my picture. And I remember my grandma being so excited. She was really excited, and she was excited of the detail that I put into this boat. And I was excited because she was excited. And that is what encouragement is called. Because she was so excited of how detailed I made that boat, it kind of spurred me on to want to even draw more detail. Like I wanted to get even more detailed with my next boat. And I wanted to show Grandma because I wanted to get that same reaction from her of how excited she was over how detailed I could get the boat. And it's amazing that one little piece of encouragement went so far with me that I bet she never could have dreamed or imagined that because of that encouragement, I would end up raising and supporting my family on my ability to do detailed things. Okay, so there's the front wheel on top of the Minardi. And so I think through my whole life now, trying to do detail-oriented things, and always like tracking numbers, as far as if there's something to track, I would track it. Like, for instance, if I had a pack of M&Ms, I would empty all the M&Ms out and then count how many M&Ms of each color there were. And I would have to eat the M&Ms according to colors so that I would eat equal colors, so that the number of M&Ms would shrink according to the colors that they had. So I wouldn't eat all the yellows. I would eat yellows only if there was more yellows than the other colors. So it's things like that I just, the way that my brain would work, and how it just tracks throughout your whole life. So the lesson that I want to tell you about or learn from that is to pay attention, especially when you're young. Pay attention to the encouragement that people give you, because you never know how it will dictate the rest of their life. This is going to be the suspension arms for these cars. So I first dip them in glue to thicken up. It's like brass wire. And then I just drag them up the paint on the inside of the paint thing here to add some thickness to it. See, can you tell if that got thicker? It did. So as you go through life, you'll see things will happen and you'll get encouragement from people, and pay attention to how that makes you feel. Is that something that you would like to continue to get encouragement about? And the same thing when you're paying attention to what other people are doing, especially other little kids. If you see something that they do especially well, encourage them. Tell them how awesome it is that they did whatever they did, because you never know. It may end up to be part of the career that they do for the rest of their life, based on your encouragement. And I can't tell you how many times I've thought of my grandmother when I've been working, when I do things like this. It's just, to me, this is enjoyable, just working in this kind of detail, even though it can be maddening because you have to like do movements in between breaths and in between, you could feel the pulse in your fingers sometime. You have to like make an action, but in between those pulses. So to me, that's like a challenge and it's fun, but you never know. You never know what the encouragement that either you give someone or that you receive from someone that'll end up shaping the rest of your life. So be encouraging is my lesson for today.